Welcome to Courageous Leadership Conversations. My name is Sapna Batheja, and today's conversation is focused on implementing alternative school breakfast programs. Joining us today, we have Dr. Terry Grier, Superintendent of the Houston Independent School District. Welcome, Dr. Grier. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Could you start out by telling us a little bit about the alternative school breakfast program in your district? For example, how many schools are involved and what types of models do you have?
Houston is the 7th largest school district in the country, and it's the largest in Texas. We have over 204,000 students that we serve in 274 schools. 179 of those schools are elementary, 35 are middle, and 45 are high schools. Now, we have breakfast in the classroom in all of our elementary schools, all of our middle schools, and it's an optional program for our high schools, and currently we have 2 high schools involved in the program. We in the Houston Independent School District prepare all of our meals in a central meal preparation facility, huge. The freezer in this facility is as big as several football fields. So we prepare the food, prepackage it, send it out to the schools, they warm it and serve it. The food is prepared when it gets to the schools, we put it in warmers, we move it to the classrooms. The kids that are in those classrooms in the morning line up, go through, pick up their breakfast, go into their classrooms, sit at tables, and they enjoy breakfast. Now, it takes between 8 and 11 minutes from the time that our first student is handed that first tray, that juice, that milk, that fruit, until we clean up. And all of it's done in the classroom. Our cafeteria program does a wonderful job. When the kids finish eating, they get up very politely, go put their garbage in the trash, come back and are seated. Now during that time, that 8 to 12 minutes, 10 minutes, 11 minutes, and it differs a little bit classroom to classroom, teachers are teaching vocabulary lessons, they're working a math program on the board. Students who ate breakfast at home can work on their homework. It's not wasted instructional time, and it's an exciting program.
How do you think that feeding more children breakfast speaks to the mission of your school district?
We've tracked quite a bit of data, and in our elementary schools, we have one of the highest elementary school attendance rates in the country for urban schools. And we've seen our attendance rate go up after we started serving universal breakfast in the classroom. We've seen our office referrals go down, both at the elementary and middle school level. It's easy. Kids that are not hungry, they behave better, and there's no question that they also learn at a higher level.
And what do you see was your role as a superintendent in leading this charge?
I was a big advocate before we rolled this out. We did some pilot programs where we took the actual breakfast that we were going to serve the students, and we served it to our Board of Education, we served it to our City Council and our Mayor, we served it to PTAs and teachers out in the schools, and we had focus groups of students that we served all the different types of breakfast.
What a great and creative idea. What obstacles, if any, did you experience when rolling this out?
We were pretty strong from an administrative perspective in dealing with our board that we did not want to let schools opt out, because every school in Houston has a reasonable percentage of disadvantaged kids who come from home, and often the last meal they had was the lunch they had in school the day before. And so we were just pretty dogmatic in saying, no, this is a universal program in Houston. There is no opting in and out.
Now, what advice would you offer to other superintendents who are thinking about rolling out this program in their district?
Come to Houston, bring some of your teachers, bring some of your principals, bring a few of your school board members with you, and see it in action. We have people saying, oh, you're going to have bugs and mice and everything else running around. It's just not true. These kids, it teaches them great responsibility. It really is not very time consuming, and the benefits far, far, far outweigh any concerns that anyone might have. Be really upfront about the nutritional value. Let them know what the fat content, the salt content, the sugar content of all the foods that you're serving, because we've really gone the extra mile to have healthy, nutritious meals available to our kids. And we knew up front that we were going to get some critics. And so we knew the best way to address that is to address it up front. And so when we serve cereal, we don't serve some of the cereal that is laden with sugar. All of our milk is skim milk, for example. So we up front, we were very proactive.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you so much for joining us today. For more courageous leadership conversations, please check out our channel on YouTube. This episode of Courageous Leadership Conversations was made possible by a generous grant by the Walmart Foundation.